This clip will take a chart I've built earlier and recorded a separate clip for, and it's going to try and help us enhance this chart, this pie chart that's been produced. So a quick recap. This is a pie chart that's based on the labels here in column A from cells A5 to A10 for beef, chicken, and so on, and the expending values that are in column C from C5 down to C10. So I've already done a certain amount of formatting on the chart, and I'm now going to do further formatting. So again, before I start this exercise, when you're carrying out formatting your chart, be very careful to ensure that you're clicked on the correct area. So currently, I hope I'm clicked on the data series here because I see all of the slices on the chart are selected. So if I right click here, I hope to see format data series, and that's correct. At a later point, I might just want to work with one slice on the chart. So if I just click on the particular slice that I'm interested in, it'll deselect the data series and just select the slice. So now you can see that I just have lamb selected. And if I want to select the whole series again, I just click away from the chart and click back on it. And now the entire data series is selected again. So as I work on this, I'm going to now bring up other menu options and possibilities in terms of formatting the chart. So I'm going to right click and choose Format Data Series. And when I choose Format Data Series, again, just check the heading to make sure you have the entire data series as opposed to an individual data point. And below that, we have Series Options. And there are three main options. There's Fill and Line, there's Effects, and there's Series Options. So the one we're interested in initially is going to be called Effects. So under Effects, we can influence the appearance of our chart. So as you can see currently, we have these various slices and there's quite sharp edges here. So we can change the appearance of the charts, maybe so it's more smooth looking, etc. So we'll try and change some of those. So we're going for the 3D format. Okay, so under the effects, choose 3D format, and then we're looking at what's called bevel, and bevel is it's using shading and shadows to make the edges appear to be more curved or angled. So we're going to go for the top bevel, and under top bevel the first choice is none, so we'll ignore that, and then the second one is either round or circle. So we choose that option, and you can see already there's a slight curve appearing in the chart. And then the actual the scale of that, we can change these width and the height components of it. So we're going to go for 512 for the width and 512 for the height. And you notice that it's now more smooth looking. The edges are more curved. And there's a limit, there's a max value here. So if you put in a value of more than 1,500 or thereabouts, 1584 is the limit. So that's the showing you how to use the bevel feature to change the shading of it. So as that we've made both of those, the top bevel we're choosing circle or round, and we've made it 512 in width and 512 in height. So the same idea for the bottom bevel. We're going to choose the round option again, and we're going to go for the same two values. So we just overtyped the current value of 6 that's there by default. And now you can see it's a much flatter, smoother looking chart. So that's the top and bottom bevel, so I can just hide that. When we're finished with a feature in the, when we're formatting, whether it's a data series or data point, just deselect it when you're finished, and then the other options become more, the main menu options become more prominent. So we can also look at the shadow that appears on it. So we're going to go for shadow, and we're going to go for presets, and under presets, again you have a list of options, and under the options, if you scroll down the list, there's one called, so there's outer, there's inner, there's perspective. So we're going to go down to perspective, and under perspective, we're going to choose the third option here, which says is below. Okay. So that again slightly changes the the shadow. So you can see the shadow has appeared here just below the chart. So if I just undo that for a moment, the shadow is gone, and it's just a clear kind of biscuit type feature on the actual image. But if I go, as I said, for under my perspective, and I go down to perspective and go for the third option here, which is below, you can notice that there's now a shaded shadow here appearing below the data series. So that's the shadow impact. So the other thing we might want to change is the order of the data series. So here we have beef appearing kind of on the top, the first quadrant here, we'll say at 1 o'clock if there's a clock, and chicken is between 1 and 4 o'clock, or 1 and just after 3 o'clock, and lamb is taking up the kind of afternoon slot, we'll call it. Okay, so what we can do is that we can rotate those, because beef is appearing up there because beef is the first element on the list. So that's why beef is first, followed by chicken, followed by lamb, and venison is last. So what we can do with this is we can rotate the chart if we wish and influence the way the slices appear. So we're still on the data series, and as again, the first option is fill in line, the second is the effects, and the third is the series options. So again, I'll just deselect the shadow for a minute and go into these series options here under the data series, and I can go for the angle of the first slice. Okay, so the angle of the first slice, I can just click over here and it'll start to rotate. So it's now got 20 degrees from where it was originally, and so on, 30. So I'm going to go for 250. So we'll see where beef ends up at that point. So beef is now well over at kind of 9 o'clock almost, so it is. Okay. So that's where you can, where you can move slices around, rotate the slices, and then it gives, that can help you maybe emphasize particular parts of the chart more than maybe the original image did. So that's how you can change, how you can rotate the chart, the angle of the first slice. So beef here was the first slice. So now I'll bring it back a bit. So beef is we're going backwards. So I could bring it back to the very beginning. So it's now back to where we were at the start. But I'll go up and try and get around my 250% again by just dragging I'm at 249, so I'll leave it at that. So that's the rotation of the chart. The other thing you can do is you can kind of pull out a particular slice. Okay, so if we wanted the pork slice to kind of be slightly cut away from the chart, as if we're about to eat that part of the pie, what we can do is we can explode the chart so that particular slice is slightly detached from it. So again, we need to be under the format data series, and option, we could go into the pie explode. We could explode the pie and we take out all the slices. Okay, so this removes all of the slices. So we don't want to do that. So currently that's happening because I'm on a data series as opposed to a data point. So that again stresses the importance of knowing where you're located. So if I can explode the chart instead if I wish by taking all the slices and separating them slightly from, cutting them all away from the pie chart. But in my case, I don't want to do that. I just want to take pork and extract it a little bit. So what I need to do is I need to deselect the data series. In other words, I need to remove the selection features from all of them bar pork. So I just click on pork, not on the labels, but on the actual the pork slice. And again, the data series is selected. So I'll just click on it one more time to get that data point alone. So now it says over on the right hand side, format data point. And similar approach to the previously. So I need to go to my series options, and the point explosion is now going to be chosen, and I can choose a value. So I've taken 10% there. I could take a larger value if I wished, so I'll make it a bit bigger. So it's 20%. So that's my pork slice kind of detached from the chart. So that's another way of maybe if you want to stress a particular slice in the pie chart. So the Other things you can do is we can choose the fill and line, and look at that. So under fill and line, we can choose things like the gradient fill. So under gradient fill, we can choose the preset options, and there's preset gradients here. So when we click on those, the series of them appears, and on the fourth row we have one here which says it's called bottom spotlight accent 6. So if we choose that, it changes the appearance further, and that again enhances that color a bit, that one a bit more. Now maybe the color is a bit similar to the another slice over here for venison. So that is at the entire, that's that data point formatted. So again, as I said, be conscious of where you have clicked on the chart. So if I now want to do something for the entire chart, what I can do is format the chart area. So under formatting the chart area, again a different heading appears, but the options below it are much the same. So I'll unselect fill for the minute, I'll unselect border for the minute. So I've got two choices here. I've got fill and border. So what I can do is go to the gradient again. So I need to go for if I want to go for fill and gradient fill, it's taken the green background here and put it on the entire chart, what area was previously white. So I could choose a different color there if I wished, but I'll leave it as it is. That's the fill. The fill for the entire chart being set at that green color. So at the minute the border area isn't defined, so I can now choose the border and do something to the border. So I maybe want to say something like a solid line in the border. So I'll go for a solid line, and then the color of it. So I'm going to change the color a little bit so it isn't the same color as the main body of it, just to stress it and to make it stand out a little bit. So I'm going to give it a shade of blue, one of these darker shades of blue, and see how it looks. So again, I need a stronger line, so I need a solid line. So in my border, I'm not selecting the chart, so that's obviously why it's not available to me. So I need to go back and select my chart. And now go in and choose my border again. And choose my color. So the level of transparency and the appearance of it will be impacted. So that completes some of the additional formatting on a pie chart. So that's the end of the clip.